Yo, what's going on, man? Today is October the 5th, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Want to do a live look ahead to the games tomorrow. We'll be live in the morning, just FYI, talking some NFL, going through these WNBA games in a little bit more depth. I'm not playing any player props because I got smoked on player props, so I'll jump into a quick recap. But I'll do the show so we can talk out some player props for anybody that's kind of wanting thoughts on some of the player props in the game for the 2 game 4s that we have in the WNBA tomorrow. So, I'm coming off a rough night, roughest night I've had so far in the W. Aces first quarter was the only bet that I won. And that was, thank God for Tiffany Hayes. She, first quarters are volatile in the first place, but I did think the Liberty thought the Aces would punch first. They did. But it was back and forth. They had the lead at the end of the first quarter, covered the spread, had the lead at the end of halftime, covered the spread before, the Liberty had a 6-point third quarter, and you saw a big turnaround in that point. Aces end up going up by 25 and winning that game. I took Sabrina over 25.5 points plus assists. Was an absolute loser. They doubled her, trapped her, got the ball out of her hands, hedged the screen, made her, into a playmaker. She ended up with 5 turnovers. So that was a loser. Alyssa Thomas, bad beat here, in my opinion. She, missed 4 layups, I think, in the first 3 minutes. Just really easy layups. She shot 50% from the field. You know anything about Alyssa Thomas? She has 2 torn labrum. So every shot that she shoots is less than 5 feet from the rim. So she should shoot about 70% from the field. And typically she does. Just not last night. She got smoked last night. The Minnesota Lynx weren't playing with their food. They were extremely motivated coming into that game. And Alyssa Thomas still should have probably cashed the over 23.5 points plus rebounds. I can see myself running that one back, but I don't want to bet on Connecticut prison ball style offense. And then I took Fee over her 3.5 assists. She finished at 3. And this was also another one that I really, really hated losing because there was multiple attempts that Fee actually passed the ball. Even though I will say the reason why I took Fee over her 3.5 assists was because I thought that she would get double teamed like she did in game 2 and kick out to some open shooters. And she didn't really get double teamed as much. A lot of her plays were, fadeaways. She was very, very aggressive, shooting the ball every time she could get a chance. And this one I felt like should have been a winner, especially with, Minnesota shooting 57% from the field, something they've only done 3 times this season, but it ended up being a loser. So the Aces first quarter was a plus money play. It was the bigger play of the 4 and Sabrina. So we end up losing by the unit because a couple of these were just half unit plays. And I'm thankful for that. On the season now, after starting off 6-0, 11-7. So I've been on a little bit of a drought. Maybe better just to fade me if I'm being honest, but I'm still going to break the games down and let you guys know how I'm looking at them. So let's do just that. Quick reminder, these team previews are going on. Check them out. Today I posted the Detroit Pistons and the Sacramento Kings to jump into the Pacers and the Portland Trail Blazers tomorrow. Let's get into the game though. Aces and Liberty, game 4. Aces, like I said, absolutely. And I put this only thing I'm gonna show you guys because honestly, after the 2 game 3s, I really just I don't think I need to. I'm gonna just trust in my eyes. Let's put it like that. I'm gonna trust my eyes. My eyes told me in this game that the Liberty weren't ready to play and that they were a little complacent with, having a 2-0 lead. And you hear it, I talked about Sabrina guaranteeing the win, when she went to the podium after game 2 before they left New York, yada, yada, yada. They blitzed her. She was not a part of the offense at all. You see Jacko Jones getting early foul trouble. She is a non-factor for the game. There's some kind of stat going around where she has a double-double. I think they've won every game. When she doesn't, they have a losing record. I want to say she finished with 6-5 or something like that. She was meaningless to the game. And if they don't have her out there to slow down A'ja Wilson, the game's pretty much over. The biggest takeaway I took from the game was that of, the Aces taking better control of the basketball. They had just 9 turnovers after giving up 20 points off turnovers in game number 2. Coach Becky Hammond was upset about that. The Aces also they also won the points in the paint battle for the first time in the series, 42-28. I think we see that change just a tad bit. And, the Liberty, I still feel like are the better team. Now, is it going to be easy to go into, Las Vegas and win another game? I don't think so. Vegas, backs against the ropes. They will come out fighting the same way that they did in game 3, in my opinion, with their season on the line, understanding that they don't win this game, they're not going back to New York and the season is over. So will it be easy? No. Am I taking the Liberty? Yes, I am. I just feel like the Liberty are the better team. I think that, they understand that losing this game, you find yourself back in New York in a do or die game for game number 5, where it's a winner take all and move on to the WNBA finals. I think you get the Liberty's best effort in this game. And if not, you probably get it in the next game. But I think the Liberty will be motivated in the spot. They've been excellent this season, coming off a loss, 8-1 straight up. Also 7-2 to the under in those games, with 6 of their 9 opponents going under their team total. I'm not messing with the total. I told you guys I wasn't going to bet the total in game number 3. I'm glad I didn't. Both teams, shot the ball really, really well. And it's interesting because you can see over here. I put this here so you guys, so we can talk through it real quick. Aces shot 52% from the field, 41% from the 3-point line. Liberty never gonna win playing defense like that. And if you look at it for the Liberty, they also shot better from the 3-point line than they shot from the field. They shot 41% from 3 versus just 38% from 2, overall for the game. So, that's you would expect the defenses to come to play, but the pace has been so good, the offenses have been so good that I'm not touching the total again. I do think this is the game that goes over after we've seen 3 straight unders, because I do think the Liberty defense is going to be a lot better. So a strong lean towards the under. I'm staying away from the totals, though. I'm staying away from the totals. I'm staying away from everything else. The thing that I'll bet is the Liberty plus the 3 points. I think that they win the game and they get it. They advance to the Western Conference. I'm sorry, they advance to the WNBA Finals. So that's what I like in this game. Let's move on to the next one. Minnesota Lynx will be in Connecticut again. This time they're getting 1.5 after getting 2.5 in game number 3. And this game was over with when they threw the ball up in the air. It did not take long for the Minnesota Lynx to jump all over the Connecticut Sun. You guys can see here at the top, Minnesota shot 57% from the field. One of the crazier things were, because when you look at the other stats, they didn't really it wasn't like it wasn't like excellent. You look at the offensive rebounds. Excuse me. You look at the offensive rebounds. Connecticut gained 7 more offensive rebounds than the Minnesota Lynx did. You look at the 3-point shooting. Connecticut was abysmal, but they typically can't shoot threes outside of Marina Mabry. This is one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. They shot 3 for 20. I know Mabry's, probably going to bounce back a little bit to be better than that, but 3 for 20, 15%. Minnesota didn't even win the game with their 3-point shots. They only made 5, and they only took 15. They shot 33%. So I know 33% is a lot better than 15, but they didn't shoot the 3-point ball well, and there's some room for improvement there. Even though Connecticut is one of the better 3-point defenses. The other thing is Minnesota had 1 more assist. 35 made shots, 22 assists. That's a great, that's great. But they still only had 1 more assist than the Connecticut Sun did. The rest of the box score doesn't really say a lot outside of Minnesota shooting 57% from the field. So I did do a little bit of deep digging into this, because I really wanted to play Minnesota in game 3, thought they were the right side. And that game, like I said, was really over as soon as they threw the ball up in the air. That 57% that Minnesota shot from the field, 3rd time this season that they've shot 55% or better from the field. In the next game, they're 3-0 straight up. In the next game, they're averaging 88 points. So that trend tells me that their offense typically stays pretty high. Now, Connecticut said everything that they were supposed to say after the game about, that wasn't Connecticut basketball and they need to play better and, it's do or die time. It was kind of that way when they came home. We'll see if that changes any now. I looked at this Sun. They gave up 85 plus points in the last game, but on the season, they only gave up 85 points 3 times. And in those games, in the next game, they were 0-3 straight up and against the number. So the defense struggles one game. It typically does not bounce back in the next game. You can say that it's going to change in this game because that would be putrid for them to come out and lose both games on their home floor to end their series, to end their season. That would be pretty putrid. But here's the other thing, and this was one of the reasons why I wanted to take Minnesota in the last game. The Sun, they've been short home favorites this season 3 times. When I say short home favorites, I mean like them winning the game, projected to win the game by 2 possessions or less. And in those games, they're 0-3, straight up 0-3 against the spread as well, with 2 of those losses actually coming to this Minnesota Lynx team. And then when I look at, I talked about this in the last game, but when I look at the Lynx as road dogs this season, they've been the best team in the WNBA. 8-3 straight up, 9-2 against the spread, 8-2-1 to the over, 4 straight wins in this spot as a dog. 2 of them coming against the Sun, another one coming against the Liberty. They also beat the Aces as a dog as well. And I think they're the right size. So I'm going Lynx again. I think they get the job done. And in this series in Connecticut, I know it's difficult to win on the road back-to-back games. I think they get the job done, though. Just not wanting to trust Connecticut or lay points with them, even in a must-win spot. Maybe they bounce back, but I don't think that they're going to have enough to outdo this Minnesota Lynx team. So I'm going to take the Sun. Excuse me, not the Sun. I'm going to take Minnesota plus the 1.5. And I'm going to take New York plus the 3.5. I think both of those teams are the better teams, and I think both of those teams win game 4 and end up in the WNBA finals. These will be my 2 plays for tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be live tomorrow, probably about 9 a.m. for people who want to chat it out live. Look into some player props, even though I know I'm not betting any because of how poorly I did in the last game. But this is the way I'm liking the games. Fade me, might be profitable. But my eyes are telling me both of these teams win the game outright tomorrow. So I'll take the dogs, both dogs tomorrow, to win both games tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. The resources, as always, are here. I'm not going to talk about them, but they're here if you guys want to check those out. And that'll be it, man. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Best of luck on all your action. Bet responsibly. I'll catch you guys in the next one, which will be tomorrow morning if people are interested in joining. Bye.